Testing, testing. Do you guys hear me now? There you go, probably hear me now. This happens every single stream for some reason. Anyway. Uh okay. Anyway, let's start this from the top then. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my stream. For some reason there's always technical difficulties on this. But anyway, what I want to talk about today is something very important, is Bitcoin trends. Now, before I start, I just want to say that you guys can ask questions in the charts and I will of course answer them. You can ask questions in the stream chat, I'll answer them. After the stream ends, if you guys ask questions down in the comment section below, I'll answer them next stream. So, with that being said, let's get straight into the video. So, what I want to talk about today is Bitcoin and its trends, because its trends are very important. Now, I just want to say that in the previous video, I did talk about this huge bull flag that could take us to $32,000 if we broke to the upside. And I said I could not tell you guys when it would happen, but once it did happen, it would take us out. And as you guys can see, we are now breaking out of it to the upside, and we need to confirm support. Now, in the previous stream, I talked about that if we break below this blue line, we could fall down to $28,000. Now, I had to clarify, and my bad, I did not clarify, that we need to break below and confirm support. We need to break below and confirm support underneath a resistance to fall down. This needs to become the new roof that we need to break against to fall down. Same thing right now. What we are doing is trying to confirm support on this new floor, this new place where we can use as leverage to pump up. If we are able to confirm support on this level, then we can use that level to rise higher in the charts and reach $32,000, which is the target of this bull flag. Now the question is this the start of the big trend? Are we about to see another leg up like I talked about in the previous video? Well, it's a very good question. And for us to figure out what's going to happen, we got to talk about trends for a bit. So here is an empty chart, and I just want to talk about trends for a bit. So as you guys know, we've been trending up for a while. Now, a trend, as you guys know, is just a steady incline or decline. A bullish trend is a bullish trend that causes us to rise up, and a bearish trend is a trend that is falling down. Now, to know a bullish trend is just very simple. There are actually, let me give you an example. So going back in time over here, you guys know that this was a bearish trend. How do we know this? Well, just look at the peaks of when we were falling. Our first peak right over here, that's when it happened. That's our first major level. We fell, we came back up, we stopped at this level, we continued falling. We couldn't go that much up. This was a high, because if you go on the smaller time frame, it's a small trend up. It was a high, but it was lower than this high right over here. Lower highs are signs of a bearish trend. Now, there was also something called a lower low. This was a low. When falling down in crypto, you make a low, and then you make a smaller high, but it's not as high as the previous high, which is why it's called a lower high. And in crypto, lower highs and lower lows are the big signs of bearish trends. Now the question is, how do we know if it becomes a bullish trend? So let's look right over here. This was a lower high because this is a high that we made, but it was lower than the previous high. Now, the question is what is this? This is a high that was higher than the previous high. And what this means is that we have now broken through this huge key resistance and made a new resistance area above this place. And the key moment is right over here, when we fell down and made a low higher than this low, which means we created a higher high. A higher low. There you go. It's a bit confusing. But what this means is that we are now creating a big support that's at a higher level and using that as leverage to pump even higher. And as long as we continue making these higher lows and higher highs, we can continue rising up in this trend until, of course, we create some sort of lower low. So until we break this level right over here, we are still technically in this bullish trend on a daily time frame. And that is what this channel I was talking about is for. This channel, this yellow one that I was talking in my previous live stream, is a sort of way to tell this trend that this trend is still continuing, because we make a higher high because this resistance line is higher every single time we tap it. We fall down to the bottom and we create a higher low, a low that's higher than the previous low. And right now was the big key resistance level. Now, as we can see, we are in a smaller time frame, making a trend that's bearish. And as you can see, we cannot know when we are gonna flip to the next trend without either some key resistance levels or some special indicators. But what we can know with just the chart is that once we break a previous high and create a higher high and create a higher low, then that trend should be starting. So you can go on, for example, the 15-minute time frame and see that we have already created a higher high that's higher than this high right over here. We have started a bullish trend. Now the question is this a long-term trend? Well, this is a smaller time frame. That means that these candles are moving much faster, and that means that this trend could end much faster. To see larger trends, you got to go on the larger time frame. See what happened in the past on a larger scale. So right over here, you guys can see that we are still technically, if I go on a different chart, bouncing around inside of this channel. And for us to create a new trend that's going up again, where do we have to go? Well, we have to go either higher than the previous high or some major smaller high on the smaller time frame. So to be safe, if you were a trader on the long-term time frame, this is the previous super high. That's the trend high, the previous high on the daily time frame. If we break that, then we can create another leg up. As you guys know, we created multiple legs before in this trend. Breaking this previous resistance at 31,800 would cause us to rise farther up. And that's what this bull flag suggests also. So what we know is if we confirm support on this bull flag, this white bull flag, that momentum could carry us past this previous peak. If we break this previous peak, then we can be sure that this is an actual trend. But until we break this previous peak, we can have sideways momentum for a while. Like I said already in the previous stream, we can go sideways or we can fall down for about 30 to 60 days. Not necessarily supposed to happen, but it does happen sometimes. So what we got to figure out is which way the trend is showing that it will go and which way it could go and which way will it go in the future. So this is one way to understand it. So one way to understand it is to get different indicators that can confirm your thesis. Like in the previous live stream, we talked about the bull flag. Another way is the EMA ribbon. The EMA ribbon is a very big indicator. What it is a bunch of moving averages lined up together to create a sort of ribbon pattern. Now, together, these moving averages create the EMA ribbon indicator, which is a huge support level and resistance level for Bitcoin depending on which trend it's going to. You can use this to identify whether Bitcoin's in a bullish trend and to know when it will flip its trend. Going on the daily time frame, we can know that tapping this EMA ribbon, as you guys can see right over here, as long as we stay above it, we will pump up. When we fall below it on the daily time frame, you know that we're going to be in the downwards trend until we break it up. And the question now is this point right here where we broke the EMA ribbon up once again, is that point the start of a new trend? And you can easily know this. How we will know this is upcoming in a couple days, we will fall back down and tap this trend. If we tap this trend line, if we tap this EMA ribbon and confirm support, well, then we will continue rising up. Now, you can either tap this trend or you can create a super rally that's rising up very, very fast. Create two huge bars of momentum that's far enough to know that we're in a previous rally by breaking the previous the lower high, creating a higher high. Those are the two ways to know if a trend will happen. And until then, we actually do not know if this could be a fake out. So if we go on the smaller time frame once again, this pump does not necessarily mean that we will be rising up. But the big question is, what will happen? And we know that whatever happens will lead to something massive. And we know what will happen on either of those two things. So if it breaks up, you guys know that we will rise up to about $32,000 if we confirm support. If it breaks the support and this turns out to be a fake out and we just continue falling down, well, you guys know that the next huge level is at the daily time frame this big indicator, the EMA ribbon. Let me just tell you guys that this level is at around 29,500. Let me simplify this a little bit. The EMA ribbon, it's a huge support level that we can use to rise up. If we fall down below this huge indicator and we do not confirm support on this line right here, we will fall down to this EMA. And if we confirm support, if we fall down to the EMA ribbon and decide to stay there and bounce up, that is the start of a trend. If we continue to rise up, if we break this previous high right over here, this new one that we make. Now, the question is, if we confirm support, how long do we know till we're in a trend? Well, we know we will be in a trend when we will see a lot of money flowing in, and that's an indicator that we can use called volume. So if I turn on volume right now, this volume goes steadily down in a trend line until we break out of an indicator. This right over here. This just shows the amount of money flowing in at all times. You can see that when we were rising up, there was a ton of bullish money going in. And right over here, there was another bullish momentum going in. But you can see it's going in a steadily decline. And until we see a huge spike, you can know that we will continue to stay in this sideways momentum. But I know that this is actually coming up. A bullish pump is about to come soon because we cannot get lower and lower volume forever. As you can see, it's squeezing this volume more and more and more. And soon it will come to a point where this volume cannot stay at a certain level. It will have to break out. And once it does, that is when the huge bullish price will happen. And that's where this key moment comes in. Right now, in the next couple days, is the biggest thing that's going to happen right over here. This is a huge deciding factor for Bitcoin. If we manage to confirm support on this line, if we manage to confirm support on that huge indicator called the EMA ribbon, well, then we will rise up. And that is what I am talking about today. So if you guys want to, go on your charts. You can also draw this huge indicator. You can draw this bull flag. If we confirm support, we will see a huge rise to $32,000. And that is a very big percent pump of 12%. If we do decide to make this a fake out, well, you can know that we will continue to bounce around inside of this bull flag until we manage to break out. If we fall down below it, well, then in the smaller time frame, we will see a dump down to around $28,000. And after that, well, then if we confirm support here, then we see a pump back up and we test that resistance line once again. That's the beauty of risk. That's the beauty of evaluating positions. That's the beauty of knowing when to buy in. If you just understand when we will confirm support, if you just understand when a trend will flip, you can easily come in and buy at the correct time. And so that's why this is a huge deciding factor right over here. Now, if anybody has any questions, I will happily answer some for you as this live stream goes on. I will wait a couple minutes, but as that is happening, as anybody who wants to ask questions can, I want to talk about a couple more things. So another deciding factor, real quick, I might drink some water. Another deciding factor for Bitcoin is very important. It's fear and greed. Most people who trade this Bitcoin charts, they just go on their guts. They have no trading. They don't know anything about lines. They don't know anything about emotions. They trade just by their feeling. And they buy when they think so. They sell when they think though. They think that Bitcoin's a kind of money doubling machine. It is not. It is very complicated. That's why 90% of people lose their money within the first month of trying to trade. So there are indicators that people created that actually measure this. And right now you can see that fear greed is at neutral. People cannot know whether Bitcoin is going to pump up or fall down. And this is actually a very interesting indicator. It measures a ton of stuff right over here. They write in their data sources. They measure that volatility, which is what I was talking about. That huge indicator that measures how many people are buying or selling, how much Bitcoin is actually being put in. Market volume. That is the momentum of the market falling down or going up. Social media, which is very interesting, they actually look for hashtags around the market. For example, hashtag Bitcoin pump or something, and they look for bullish social media posts that could technically rally the market. It's very interesting. Dominance, which is a little complicated topic, but it's an indicator that is just showing either with Sorry, my bad. It's an indicator that shows either Bitcoin or other coins are more in control. So, and then last but not least, trends. Trends is what I was talking about. It measures to see if we fall or go above a specific key resistance area. If we break that, it can easily tell something. So this, it's alternative.me. It's a very interesting website, and I 100% recommend this website for you guys when looking at the market. This will show the huge potential in the markets. It will show the huge trends. It will show what will happen in the market. And by looks of it, nobody is writing any questions, so I guess I will end the stream very soon. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this quick little update. Once again, any questions, appreciate it, I'll answer them. And I will continue to make videos once a day, every weekday for you guys. And with that being said, I'll see you next stream. See ya!